Hey, this is Doug Stanhope, and you're watching The Barn. Why wouldn't you be?
Hi, and welcome to The Barn, live from the Barn studio. You got the Mox here, joined with my co-host Chuck via Zoom right now.
Yeah.
We have a very special guest online. We have Mr. Doug Stanhope.
Cheers. Thanks. Thanks. Everyone's clapping in their homes and office cubicles.
And they're like, who's Doug Stanhope, right?
I can't apologize enough. I don't miss shit. Like, I had my wife set an alarm. I had it written on my hand, but I thought it was my time versus your time. And then I realized, oh shit, we don't do daylight savings time. So you're not even aware that's a thing until like halfway through football season. You go, why isn't the fucking game on? You go, oh, those cunts with their fucking daylight savings time.
Doug, knowing you the way that I do throughout the years, I would have been upset if you were on time and just all the, I don't know. I had this, you're a legend in my eyes. When you were not there, I was like, fucking thank God. He's probably drunk as shit somewhere.
Yeah, I just had a friend that was doing some work on my fence, and he came in. I go, I got 20 minutes before I got to be on this podcast. I'm trying to make a drink and be nice with him. But hey, can you let me get a couple of fucking drinks under my belt? I got to go to work. Chat about your stuff.
Are you in your bar right now?
No, I'm just in the living room.
Oh, okay.
With the Bingaman. I say hi, Bingo.
Hi, Bingo.
Hi, Bingo.
You said wife. I didn't know you and Bingo. I thought for a lot of years you guys weren't married.
After 20 years, you just say wife.
Yeah.
We didn't get the paperwork or anything. We didn't need it. You just say wife. It just describes a type of relationship.
Funniest one I've ever heard is the guy, he was married for like 20 years. He just started calling her the roommate.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty close. But she also has her own house down the street, so it's not even a roommate.
Well, that's even better.
It could be convenient.
Yeah.
Hey, we're excited. You're coming into town Tuesday, March 25th, here in a week and a half or so. St. Louis, Missouri, Helium Comedy Club at 7:30, one show only. And I know the reserved area is sold out, and I imagine the rest of it's going to be as well. So if you're watching this, you need to get those tickets ASAP. They're not already gone, but we're excited to have you back in St. Louis.
If you look on my Wikipedia page, you'll see why that is a special day there, that March 25th. Yes, that's my birthday.
Oh, wow.
And that's how you see I have no ego whatsoever, because I'm going to be in St. Louis for my birthday, and I didn't say no. Like, who cares at this point? There's no pony anymore. You're a fucking old man, and it's not even a round number. It's 58. Boring. Who cares? Go to St. Louis.
I always get a chuckle out of people that take their birthday off, like take the day off from work. Like, we're grown adults here. They're like, there's no party coming. There's no birthday cake, and you're going to blow it all out. Right.
Well, the ones that kill me are the fucking major, like P. Diddy, whatever fucking celebrities that spend, $10 million on their own fucking birthday party. Your life is your birthday party. Like, what I do for a living is I have total strangers applaud for me every night I go to work. And I need more on top of that. That's how fucking desperately thirsty your ego is. I'm going to rent out Caesar's Palace.
Well, it's not even birthday day anymore. There's like birthday weeks and months. It's like, come on, how self-absorbed can you be? Like,
yeah, if you have to hire a security posse to keep people away from you on your way to your party, then you're already having a party.
Hey, the state of comedy, what's your thoughts about the state of comedy right now? It's obviously having a resurgence with even some of these TikTok shorts and all that, but Netflix, and it feels like it's being embraced, and maybe even podcasts have helped a lot with that as well. But what would you say the state of comedy, where do you think it is right now?
First of all, I don't watch. I'm not a fan. I know there's some guys out there that are funny. But I know how many people are doing comedy as opposed to when I started, and fucking everybody in the world. Like I follow like Reddit. I like Reddit. Like Twitter is fucking cached. That's output only. I just put out my dates and an occasional it's just to bring people to the shows. So Reddit, I'll follow the Reddit Standup, and like every fucking person in the world is doing an open mic. It's like the ice bucket challenge. They at least go up and they suck once. And everyone's giving advice like, just keep getting all the stage time you can. You just stay with it. And at some point you go, no, because almost every one of those guys is always going to suck. So all you're doing by encouraging them is clogging up the open mics. Like they have open mics in Tucson where they have 40 or 50 guys signing up for open mic. Guys and ladies, folks. And maybe two of them will make you laugh. That's not sympathetic.
You talk about the comedy of today. You always stay away. It seems like to me, you always stay away from the low hanging fruit of the moment. Right now, the transgender shit. Like when Trump was big, it didn't seem like you had a lot to Trump like everybody else.
I never said his name out loud for 4 years unless it was ancillary. There was not a bit. When I did do a bit that had to do with him, I didn't even say his name then. I was just like how the news is ruined. I had a bit about that. And there's a few times now that I'm back on the road after a year and a half layoff. There's some things I want to talk about. Like there's specific things where you can't say anything good or bad about Trump without being pigeonholed as buying the whole package. Like when he got the Silk Road guy, when he cleared him. All right, that's a fucking great thing. Can we go piece by piece and not? I mean, the personality. I've hated Donald Trump with a virulent passion since well before he was a president. I watched that half season of Celebrity Apprentice just because Dice Clay was on it. And I never had more of a virulent hatred for that whole misshapen headed family of his. And they're fucking smart fucker. And this is how bad it was. I did Louis C.K.'s show that year. That was like 2010 or something. And they put me up in a Trump hotel in New York. And the daughter there is on the cover of the Trump in-house hotel magazine. And I hated them so much. I'm a 40-year-old man that's drawing a fucking Hitler mustache on her face and a black eye and a rotten tooth. That's how much I fucking hated the Trumps just from that show. So I don't follow the politics. But when what were we just talking about daylight savings time. And I think he's going to get rid of that. That would be a great thing.
Yeah.
So, I can be pragmatic, but that doesn't sell tickets. If you're on a camp of woke or fucking Rogan, if you're a free speech warrior or you're woke, then you can sell tickets to that passionate half of the crowd. But if you're just an individual thinking, pragmatic, no. We want hate. We need vitriol, which I always sold. That was my brand. And then when everyone bought it, I'm like, I didn't want this. I didn't want the whole world to care.
Yeah, you said I seen you say one time that you would love to just go back to being oblivious of everything, and I've said that before too. I would love to be one of the mentally challenged door greeter at Walmart. That dude's made it. He has far exceeded everybody's expectations. He doesn't know anything in the world.
We have that guy named Gary that collects the shopping carts at Safeway, and he's got a big smile every day, and he sees bingo, and he goes,
fucking A. Yep. Happy as a clam, man.
Yep. He just turned 60, and it might as well be. Andy Andrist, who I'm touring with, he's my co-host on my podcast and my best friend and the funniest guy I know. So we're traveling together, and his first CD, Dumb It Down for the Masses, as the whole opening bit was about how we all try to drink ourselves retarded. Like that's the goal for us.
Yeah.
Because they're the happiest people in the world. You
Absolutely,
never see
man.
retards out there with picket signs going, "It's a war for oil." No, because that's what we all. I mean, it's a long piece, but it's
Yeah,
yeah.
with the
Drink yourself
politics thing,
retarded. There, you never see retards having a bad day. You know, they might have a
Exactly.
bad moment, like if they lose their swim trunks on recreational day. Yeah, then they're a raving lunatic for about 30 seconds till they find their shorts, and then they're happy again.
it's a simple life, and yeah, I think we overcomplex it sometimes, and I think like, and we'll get off the politics, I'm sure, but in the political world, it seems like professional wrestling to me. You like this guy, you're a Hulk Hogan guy or you're a Macho Man guy, and it's somewhere along the way it became entertainment. When I was growing up, it was boring as hell. Nobody was into politics. Nobody had an opinion. And now everybody has an opinion and everybody is team this or team that. And, I think just free thinking and like you're saying, like Trump has actually done some really nice things. I'm a therapist, so he's done some really nice things for the mental health world. But if you would say that, then you're a Trump guy rather than
Exactly.
having the opinion
and
of
you're stuck there. You can't go, or you're going to spend the rest of your life defending yourself on fucking social media rather than just step away. So, yeah.
Well, that's you've said before that you view politics as entertainment rather than politics. It's entertainment. It's absolutely
exactly sports. I mean, but they've found a way to rope people into watching. The same way that UFC used to be like, really, all right, we're polite. We're not like fucking boxing. We don't tolerate all that braggadocio bullshit. And, everyone was polite to each other. The fighters were polite before and after the fight and respected one another. And then I think it was around Brock Lesnar came in from the World Wrestling Federation and he brought all that shit. And they're like, yeah, we don't like it, but look at all the money and the attention he's getting us. And now it's then it was fucking Conor McGregor and then it's fuck you.
And now they're in bed with them, right? They're part of the TKO company where it is professional wrestling, UFC, and boxing. So it's almost like a mini monopoly that they have in the combat world, but you do see it a lot. And I'm a UFC fan. Don't get me wrong. I'm an MMA fan. So it's entertainment. I sit back and watch it just like you said, just like I watch sports and anything else.
Yeah, no, I could still watch the fights, and we haven't done that in a long time. I just don't think to when I'm home. I mean, we do football, and that's hard enough because it used to just be every Sunday that now they add in a Thursday game and a fucking, you got, Monday, and then the weird Saturday games at the end of the, like, all right, this is way too much fucking work. Right after, February, right after Super Bowl, this house turns into a ghost town. I got back from Australia on tour and there's still fucking cheese ball snacks in the fun house. That's why I'm in here, because that's still fucking lousy from Super Bowl snacks that no one ever cleaned up.
The entertainment to me with the politics has just gotten stale now. It's just like sad to me at this point. I can't get any entertainment anymore. I basically just walk around with a go local football team shirt. I don't care who I'm with you, man. What you believe, that's what I believe too. I don't give a shit. I'll just tell people what they want to hear at this point.
Yeah, that was the analogy I was about to make, is politics being like sports, where no one will believe that you hate football.
Right, yeah.
So Kansas City, you're a Kansas City fan then? No, I don't want to watch the game. Oh, so you're an Eagles fan?
Right, right.
No, you can't make me a fan. I'm not a fan. Yeah, he won't. He said, fuck Kansas City, so he must be an Eagles fan. No, I meant the whole game. I hate them both.
Actually, on that front, who are your teams? I know you are a sports fan. Who are your teams you root for?
Cardinals, of course, because I'm the only Arizona Cardinals fan. Because everyone in Arizona moved here from some fucking cold weather, St. Louis, Green Bay, fucking Minnesota, and they fled from the ice storms, but they kept that hat. So yeah, I'm the only guy. We went to a game. Well, we have Derek. He was a Rams fan, so he's shit out of luck because he's from Festus, Missouri. So
yeah.
So
holy shit.
Yeah, he didn't even adopt a new team now. He's a sad sack. So I'm a Cardinals fan. We went to a game where they played Minnesota. I don't know if you've ever been to a live football game, but it's really the most boring sport.
Yeah. Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrible.
Yeah, and it's the only one I watch on TV. But live, it's so draining. Unless you like had like your own skybox with all your friends that usually hang out with you at home, so you can talk in between plays and shit. But to just sit there, I've had 50-yard line, third row seats, sucked. That was
way better on the couch. I mean, they just during timeouts, they just have to stand there. They can't do shit. It's awful.
Yeah.
Football live is awful.
I don't know anything about football anymore because of fucking Red Zone. Like Red Zone, and I got 5 TVs, so we have 5 different games anyway, plus Red Zone on the patio TV. And you go, I can't name you 3 players on my own team.
Yeah.
I can't watch sports anymore. I don't know where to watch sports anymore. It's on all these damn different channels. I have no fucking clue where anything is anymore.
Yeah, I booked out most of football season for this year coming up because I had YouTube, not YouTube TV, but some kind of YouTube package. But like every TV, I had to like scan a QR code to get to the thing, and then my TVs are all fucked up anyway, so you have to hide the remote like next to it, or it'll turn off the other TVs to the other channels, and fuck this. And next year it's going to be even more confusing.
Sure.
Yeah. I have the
too
same
old
problem
to learn
here.
new things.
I have the same problem here. This is the bar that we watch, and there's several TVs up in here. So, like you're saying, I have to angle the remote a certain way, or I just mess up everything.
Yeah, it gets really frustrating, and I don't know how much of a hothead you are, but my nemesis in life when it comes to if you want to get me violent, it's going to be inanimate objects that are not cooperating. I've taken fucking golf clubs to laptops because it wasn't fucking loading or it's in the proper. I'm fucking tired of this. It's not.
Remember the Swiffers?
Yeah, yes.
I mentioned the St. Louis show. This is actually kind of in the middle of a little bit of a Midwest run you're doing here. You're starting in Joplin, Missouri, down south near Oklahoma, then St. Louis, then Indianapolis, and then Nashville, and I think a few others. Tell us a little bit about this run, how this happened, and what the idea is there.
Well, I quit comedy a lot, so I filmed that last special that just came out finally. Discount Meat. It's on YouTube. It's so I did that in like May of 23, and I had a house fire that it took a year for them to remake my house. So I just said, fuck this. I want to stay for at least a year in my house. I appreciate what I was missing, and I want to take at least a year off. So that turned into a year and a half. And then I decided I don't need my guy to book me anymore. I'll just book myself. I'm going to spend way too much of a percentage. Not like if I was doing fucking movies and stuff, I would have an agent. And I'm like, I'm just doing a tour. I could just call up bookers. I used to do that 20 years ago before I had management to do it for me. And it's been such a pain in the ass because I don't have their numbers. My manager has all their phone numbers, and I don't want to be a dick. Like, not only am I not using you, but I'm going to call you for information on how to call these. So I gotta just call the fucking phone number that's listed. Google a fucking, Dania Beach Improv, and then I get a girl in a fucking 16-year-old ticket booth girl. Hey, this is Doug Stanhope. Who books the place? Comedians have to email new faces at, and I'm like, what? You don't know? You don't know me? So I get a lot of that, and I don't really have any friends. Like all my friends that whose numbers I have. Like you had Sam Talent on. He's like the only guy I knew that I could think, hey, who's a booker in Detroit, and what's like he's like on my level as far as he still has phone numbers. Like, what am I going to call Bert Kreischer and go, hey, what's the number to that stadium that you work?
You mentioned Sam Talent, and I know on the reissue of Running the Light, You wrote the forward to that, and I know you guys are friends. And I think we even talked about that on the interview that we had with him. What does that relationship mean to you? And specifically, Running the Light, I regard it as one of the best books about comedy ever.
I think it's one of the best books I've ever read, just hands down. I rarely read fiction, but growing up, of course, I went through and read everything you have to read, including Fear and Loathing, and I think that's in the same category. I would put Fear and Loathing up against Running the Light. It's that good. I mean, I'm biased because I'm in the industry and I know these places and I know these scenes, and it's I know those people, even though they're fictional, they're real.
But a guy like him is just so brilliant. And I mean, even have a conversation with him, you're like, man, this guy he's just on another level. And we even in the interview, we brought up Norm, which obviously was a contemporary of yours. Do you have any good Norm stories from back in the day?
I only met him once when we had a roundtable interview for some magazine was interviewing a bunch of comics at the U.S. Arts and Comedy Festival in Aspen, the Aspen Comedy Festival. So that was probably 2003 or 2004. And it was me and Norm and Bob Odenkirk and Phil Hendry. There was 5 of them, and Rogan. And none of us could get a fucking word in past Bob Odenkirk just monopolized the entire thing. You'd go to answer something and he'd just step over you, and it was just the Bob Odenkirk fucking. So yeah, I didn't even get to hear Norm on that at a roundtable interview. He got shut down.
You said you took like a year off. When you, of all people, can do things like that because of you have a specific fan base, but they are fucking rabid for you. Yeah. But other comedians respect the absolute shit. You're on the top of all their lists and everything. But if I go and I tell my girlfriend, Doug Stanhope, she's like, I don't know, no fucking clue. She goes, so, I mean, I don't know can you find a question in there that you can answer? I don't know what
Oh, yeah, no, I was going to say that. People will say that to me. I did a bit about that, and I think it didn't make the special, but about how people will email me ahead of time and say, like, hey, I'm coming to see your show in St. Louis. I'm really excited. I've waited years to see you. My wife, not so much. She hates your guts. Like, why are you bringing her? Why are you telling me ahead of time that you're bringing someone who hates me? Can't you guys find things you both like and go in separate directions? Now I'm going to be scanning the fucking room for the whole show, looking for that one pinched face. And, what time? I want to go home.
How are you working out new material these days? Is it same process that you did when you first started, or has it changed?
Well, I that's one of the benefits of having a rabid fan base, because I live in a place for people to understand why I can take a year and a half off is because I live well within my limits. I own my homes. I don't, I live in a fucking small town on the Mexican border where it's, I bought a house for $50,000 just because I knew that this other guy was going to buy it. I didn't like him as a neighbor. So now I have my Australian producer living down there. So yeah, I live within my means. I'm not opulent. But what was the question?
Just your creative process as far as writing.
Oh yeah, there's no open mic. That was my point. I live in a town where there is no real comedy to speak of. I mean, there is an open mic, but it's nowhere you'd go. Like, they just play to themselves every night. Like, there's maybe 6 or 8 local comics or people that show up to talk into a microphone, and they just talk to themselves every week. So I work shit out on the road.
Does the podcast ever like spark ideas for you? You say something funny and you're like, oh, that might actually be a bit. And then you kind of work it out.
There's only one time that I did something on the podcast that I turned into a bit. It was that I did a very short version of riffing the Indian gang rape bit that turned into like a 13-minute run-on bit about graphic Indian gang rape. And even then I felt like, that feels like I'm cheating. But I think I'm so fucking fucked in the head about things like that no, I will purposely not say something on the podcast if I think it could be a bit, which is probably why I don't have a huge podcast base. Now we've been putting some effort into it. In the time off that we had, I go, all right, you know what? Now I'm actually going to put some effort. I used to do the podcast just as a goof. Like, everyone's got a podcast. Why not? Give me something to do for an hour a week. But I didn't put any legs into it. And then when the pandemic came, I'm like, fuck, I wish I'd really tried at this, because if I had, I could have made a good product. But I would, if I wasn't in the mood, I'd just phone it in. I'd just say nothing for an hour, and who gives a fuck? Then I wish during COVID, I'm like, I don't ever, because that's where I started to love just not doing anything. I wish I could, like, the same way people say they squandered their youth, I squandered my quarantine, because I look back now and there's so many things I would have done if I had known I had that time off. And I would have, like, Shane Gillis came out here like immediately. He was out here like the 2nd of April, and just on a whim, he drove cross country from, I forget where he is, holed up on the East Coast. And he said, driving across country like it was post-apocalyptic. There were no cars. There were no one at the toll booths. It was just fucking tumbleweeds blowing down that. And I go, why didn't I do that?
Yeah, there's a lot of things I miss about the pandemic. We need another one, kind of, I think.
Yeah, I know. I would do so much. I think my biggest fear was, like, I'm old, so comfort is very important to me. And I'm like, what if I show up, if I wanted to just drive aimlessly around the back roads in Wyoming and Nevada and all that? Well, if there's no motel open, I'm not, a man in his 50s is not going to sleep in his car. Now I think I probably would have slept in my car. I would have rigged my car out to be perfect for sleeping in. But if there's no bars open, well, what the fuck? Well, I can bring my own booze. But where are you going to get ice? Yeah, fuck that. I'll just stay home.
Yeah, you just look for excuses not to do stuff. Like, I'm in my 40s, mid 40s. So doing nothing is my favorite hobby. Absolutely.
Yeah, you're going to hear a lot about that, because that is a premise that will be pounded on in St. Louis and on this tour, is my addiction to comfort. How did I do? There's a button.
Oh.
Yeah, doing nothing is absolutely, my 20 years I've spent with Bingo, my best memories are just the times we fucking stacked the bed, we call it the nest, and you put, like 4 comforters and a weighted blanket and everything, and just getting into bed and watching all of Deadwood in a weekend, or all of The Sopranos over 5 days, or just the times, whatever Netflix series. Yeah, just sitting there and fucking turn off your phone.
Especially as you get older, because doing something when you get older sucks. You're either cleaning something or raking something or fixing something.
Yeah, I don't think, if there's anything on the ground level, that's Bingo. That's how our relationship works. Hey, I don't like getting low. Will you get that? Like, just to get all the way down to my shoes. Will you hand me my shoes?
Love seeing Bingo there, and glad everything's good there.
He's bartending.
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Bingo? I see Bingo and I hear Bingo, and I automatically think about those legendary Howard Stern appearances. He's always had that crush on Bingo, and he made it very clear right in front of you, and he would even say it, but he would also talk about how he hated when other people would do that to him, but then he was doing it directly to you. Talk about some of those appearances, and I know things are different now with him and what his entertainment is, but he really meant a lot to comedians, especially those early serious days.
Yeah, that was my my Letterman was getting on Howard Stern, but I the more I did it, the more I was like, it's always the same interview. I'm not famous on any level that he would follow my career And so he just goes like to the obvious. Oh, so your girlfriend's got mental illness. She must be great in the sack, kind of. So what's your sex life like? We don't have a sex life. Didn't we tell you this every single time?
Yeah.
And now I haven't listened to like he did what I did. He kind of stopped doing his show. I guess he does like 3 days a week, and I guess he's not even in the studio anymore.
Yeah, Mox, we didn't miss a show for 20 years, and then lately, the last couple of years, I can't. He hits the low hanging fruit too much. Like the Bingo has a mental illness. Like he just hits the low hanging fruit, man. I can't. I want some substance.
Yeah. And I listen to Audible books on the road. I don't even really listen to podcasts. I mean, there's some that I love, like We Might Be Drunk I just did, and I was so happy to finally do Are You Garbage? I fucking love that. But, I don't, other than like best of clips on YouTube and when I used to see just Twitter clips, that's how I get into them. And I just, I'm watching, 40 seconds of a thing. And I'm like, I love this concept. But I'm not listening to 2 hours of it on the road. So Audible books is where my road time lie.
What's the next couple years look like for you?
I'm hoping to make it to fucking
or tomorrow. What does tomorrow look like for you?
You know what? Bingo's going to get her TSA pre-check reinstated, so we have to drive up to the big city 2 hours to Tucson, and because we're going all that far, I used some of my Marriott Bonvoy points, and I got us a hotel. So we're going to go to the bistro at the Marriott Courtyard Airport and try that hotel out, and then we'll come home the next day. And then I still have to book some travel for this thing, but I fucked up. Like when I started booking stuff and no one's answering their phone and I'm not getting any, I started to panic. And then I got a hold of the guy from Helium. He goes, I'll book you all my Heliums right now. And I'm like, fuck yeah. So, but I didn't even look at the routing. I just said yes really too quickly. And so a lot of this shit, like on this, we're going to, and this is all my fault. We're going Joplin to St. Louis to Indianapolis. That makes sense. And then we have a quick day off and then a quick jaunt to Nashville, which makes sense. And then we're going to fucking Raleigh, North Carolina, which is like 10 and 11 hours away from there. And then booked right into Cincinnati the next day after Raleigh ends. And I'm like, we can't do 11 hours back. So we're going to have to fly and have Junior Stopka, who's on the road with us too. He's going to have to take that night off and drive and meet up with us. He's going to miss the Thursday. And then, then we fly. It's just fucked. Then we go to Portland, then we go back to the East Coast. But who cares? We're having fun. That's why I used to travel with Andy all the time. And at some point, management started kind of frowning on it. Like, because we would get... he's the kid that your parents say, don't hang around with that kid because you guys always get in trouble. So I think we're old enough now. But the whole point is, if I can take a year and a half off, I can go out for a year and just have fun. Don't try to build a fucking hour. Just have fun in the moment. Have fun, fucking around and do, what. Don't worry about the, is this material going to age well? All the things that when you're constantly focused on the next special, it's great for the audience because but you're not having any fun. And when you're not having any fun, the audience will start to smell that. And then
We talk about Sam's book. Are you thinking about writing any more in the future?
I put out 3 and I can't imagine. If I put out a 4th, it would probably be something gimmicky. Maybe we even thought about doing a how to do comedy book, tongue in cheek, and I don't have any idea. People email me and go, "Hey, I'm a new comic. I'm just getting out of the open mic ranks and want to start working. Like, how would I do that? And I have no idea. I haven't started comedy in 35 years. So I would, if you want my advice, get a VHS copy of your set and lick an envelope and mail it. Says that's what we did, but that's how I started comedy. I wouldn't know how to do it now. I'm an established goddamn headliner, and I took me weeks just to figure out how to get a hold of bookers. Like when I was booking myself, I didn't even have text messaging yet. So, and that was me established. So 20 years later, no, I don't know how to start comedy. If wherever you are, if you're in the comedy world and you want to get to the next level, ask someone that's at the next level. If you're an opener and you want to be a middle, ask a middle act. How did you get this gig? Like, don't ask a fucking grizzled old drunk. I only check my emails because I want someone to hate, and you're it. Stupid questions at this hour of the morning. How dare you wake me up with an email for this?
I mean, I might consider getting that manager back the way it's kind of sounding here.
No, it's finally worked out. And I've written down all the names and numbers, and I have my old tour manager. They copy, and I get his little like copy what he would put in the notes, and you know, how many? What's the capacity here? What's the booker's name? What's the? Is there rear loading for our, merch, which we don't even have merch.
So when
did your old guy ever call you and say, "It ain't so easy, is it, motherfucker?"
No, but I'm sure he listens to my podcast just to hear that. Yeah, I mean, it was not an acrimonious split with either my tour manager or if I'm not working, they don't make money. So I can't expect them to be sitting around waiting to go back to work. They moved on and fucking got other rackets, and I might not, who knows what I'll do after this year. This year, Andy and I are going out and we're having a fucking blast. We already did some destruction in Australia, and then we did some weird shows like Slab City. I don't know if you saw Ukraine. I don't know if you've seen that podcast where we went to Ukraine. We're on the front lines. Yeah, we get to play. They brought us to the front lines, and then
you went to Ukraine recently?
Yeah, we were literally on the front lines, and if I don't want to burn the story, but anyone who's watched that podcast, well, you know what happened. So yeah, we got
see it tomorrow.
Yeah, it's like being on the sidelines of your friend gets you down on the sidelines of an NFL game. You're like, holy fuck, we're going to the sidelines. But then at one point, the coach turns to you and goes, "You want to go in for one play?" Like, oh fuck, yeah, that's how it goes.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we were there in October, right before the North Korean troops got there.
Doug Stanhope here on The Barn. Doug, we can't overstate how much we think of you and your career and your comedy. It's so smart. It's so, heady in a lot of different ways. And we think the world of you, and we're excited to see you Tuesday, March 25th at St. Louis at the Helium Comedy Club.
Fucking leave your sides and your wings at the fucking door. This is not going to be partisan. We're just all there to drink ourselves retarded, like Andy Andrews says. Yeah, forget all that bullshit, because all the stuff that you're getting wound up about and you're getting angry about, it's all bullshit. When you go out into the real world, there's none of that. Don't look at clips of the real world. Just go out there, because there's some assholes out there, and you could probably wind one up if you wanted to. But yeah, in general, people are just still smiling and saying hello, and don't wear that fucking hat if you don't want someone to get in your face with their hat. Just take off the hat.
Yeah.
That's
why you got some other guy's name on your fucking hat anyway.
That's what I never understood about the cancel culture thing, especially with comedians, because comedy was always the safe place. Comedy was the place where you could express it and it be sort of a safe area where you could say some crazy shit and people thought it was funny, and then you move on because it was harmless. You
But
didn't actually.
it still is for the most part. It still is. But what media figured out, like, well, they've always known, but it leaked into the comedy world. Hey, if we can create conflict, hey, people are outraged that Dave Chappelle said, no, people aren't. You found one person that, that had a blog about Dan Tosh making a rape joke. You found one person and said people were outraged. No, one lady that you could use as an example and set up an us against them situation. And then people buy because we are fucking the consumers. We're to blame because we click on that shit. If you're telling me that, if you saw something where like Theo Vaughn goes ballistic on it, you would click on that. And even if you know it's bullshit, but then they get clicks and then they write more stories because no one's clicking on it. Hey, everyone had a fantastic time seeing Junior Stopka do a small open mic.
That's what I always say whenever I see, like, when they say they're outraged at the name Redskins. I'm like, no, there's some rich white women somewhere that's upset about it. There's anything, you just track it right back to there's some bored rich white women that are upset about it. That's it.
Yeah, and the only trouble that you get in for saying it is press, and that's why it pays to join a team. But I refuse. None of them are entertaining. Like I'll vote for someone out of self-interest, just like everyone else.
Yeah.
I'll weigh. Okay, what do I get out of voting for someone? Like I look at it like a cat burglar. Okay, where's the grift? And this is important, and we'll talk about it a lot, I hope, because I haven't written any of it yet. But what you should focus on anytime there's chaos, whether it's 9/11 or COVID or whatever the fuck is going on in the world, the start of the internet when it was Wild West and wide open, and that's when Silk Road could survive when you could actually say anything on YouTube. Like that was what was shocking to me, was when I learned about monetizing and YouTube, censorship on YouTube. Wait, I thought that was... No, you've been out of touch, Stanhope. You have no fucking idea what's going on. But the point is, anytime the world is in chaos like it is now, just look for loopholes. Look for where you can find a fucking scam. Look for, like, I'm sure a lot of you listeners out there were figuring out how to manipulate all that free COVID money and turn it into, I still work remotely and I claim a mental illness or whatever. Yeah, look for the scam. Don't look at the fucking problem that they're making up. Look for the way to exploit it. And I got some ideas, and I'll save them for the show. All the shows. Go to DougStanhope.com. Most of them are listed now. There's a few that don't have links out, but they'll be coming. I'm booked right now through Skankfest in November.
Hell yeah. Have you done Skankfest before?
I did it. Actually... Yeah, I did it twice, but not really. Like, I think I did the first one, and then I was just podcast only. And then I'm not a good 10-minute guy. I wanted to do those mixed bill shows. And I really, honestly, we've gone to a lot of Skankfests, and I've declined being on the payroll because I don't want to, like... If everyone's drinking fucking margaritas in the pool at 9:30 in the morning, I don't want to have to go, oh, I'd love to, but I have a 10 p.m. show. Nor do I want to do that 10 p.m. show if I've been drinking margaritas since 9:30 in the morning, because it's going to be an embarrassing fucking plane crash.
So you'd rather attend Skankfest than actually play it?
Yeah, I think we went this year when we finally got the podcast with me and Andy was underway, because we merged our two podcasts, and it was video, and it takes a lot of time to edit it, the Australian. But yeah, my Skankfest, like one night I spent 8 hours on artificial turf in front of my vintage trailer we rented out, and I took mushrooms and just went fucking to the moon. And I was just laying there, just watching the world spin for at least 6 or 8 hours on. So that was a whole day. If I had to do a show that night, it would have had to prop me up like Pink Floyd, The Wall.
Doug, we are big fans here, and we can't wait for you to come into town Tuesday, March 25th, St. Louis at the Helium Comedy Club. One show, 7:30. So get those tickets before it sells out, and then all the information is at DougStanhope.com. Doug, we are big fans. Thanks so much for doing this.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, thanks for having Sam Talent on.
Absolutely. Hey, and if we ever get out your way, we want to come out.
Absolutely. The door's unlocked.
Thanks, brother.
Thanks, buddy. We appreciate it, man.
Thanks, guys. Sorry about the screw up this morning.
All
See you
good.
then.
All good.
All good, man.
Keep the show. All right.
Thank you.